Hey guys, this is your boy Ben Claremont from Life in 360, and I posted an Instagram photo last night that a lot of people were asking questions about, so I thought I'd just explain it in a quick little tutorial. And in that photo I posted an inverted planet where the kind of border of the image was completely white. So it almost looked like a snow globe or a Christmas bauble or whatever stupid name you want to call it. But it's a really cool effect that I've always come back to, like maybe every 1 in 10 images, to just add a bit of variety to your 360 work and to your Instagram feed. It's good to give people something different, and I've found this to be a really powerful tiny planet editing technique that I think you will also be able to implement into your work and create some really good stuff that displays your work in a very kind of new context. So I started with this 360 image that I've got here, which I shot at the Shrine of Remembrance in Melbourne, Australia. There you can see me against the sun there, shot on the Theta S, and my shadow is nicely covering up the camera there. So here's our 360 viewing in 360 mode. So I put the camera right on the ground there, which means my kind of feet are right on the horizon line. This is very important when you're trying to achieve this specific effect, because you need a clean kind of border, which you're going to later paint over. So we can see there roughly that we have a clear circular shape on the outside of the inverted planet, which is going to be really good, which means we can then fill in all of that, the ground around it into either plain black or plain white. Okay, so I've just imported the image into Roll World, which is my favorite 360 editing app. So it's going to be just as simple as us doing a quick little edit there, and you can use whichever app you like. Most of them produce the same result. I found Roll World is the best for iPhone. It's not available on Android, unfortunately, but there are lots of good apps on there that will give you tiny planet manipulation ability. Small Planet's a good one, and same with Theta Plus. Those are good Android options. So as you can see, I'm doing a little quick edit here, get that nice and symmetrical. So it's important that we leave a border for ourselves, which we can paint over later. It's not the nicest border at the moment. It's concrete and a bit of writing on the ground. It's fine, but it could be better. I can tell already that this photo is going to look great with a white border because it's already got a lot of detail in the middle. If you have too much detail, there's too much to look at for the viewer. So if you kind of get rid of a bit and leave negative space on the outside, suddenly your tiny planet is much more interesting to look at because it's less cluttered. So I think that's a good size border that we've got there. So I'm going to go ahead and export that from Roll World. And I export it 4K, then we go camera roll. And now our weapon of choice is going to be Snapseed. Snapseed's available on both iPhone and Android. Okay, so we want to make this border white. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the brush there. I'm going to go to exposure and then just adjust the exposure to +1. This is very white. So all we do is just paint with our finger and it starts turning white. Just go around, round and round we go. Where it stops, nobody knows except me. I know. Okay, so that's once around. You want to lift your finger again and go around a couple of times. It won't always go straight to white. You'll have to do it a couple of times over. There's also a tool that will help get your kind of grays to become lighter. Instead of just painting over and over gray, you might want to hit the Selective Tool there. We just click the top left corner of our image, and when we pinch the screen like that, we can see the area that's affected. So we'll have to do this 4 corners, 1 corner at a time. So I'm hitting the brightness there, and that's going to up our brightness in the left-hand corner. Now that's much wider. Just bring that area down a bit. Yeah, that's better. That is better. So I'll now go ahead and paint the bottom left corner. So we'll have to start that again and go selective. Now we tap in the bottom left corner, and again pinch to see the area that is affected. I'm going to go. Just swipe to the right is going to make it brighter. If you swipe to the left, it'll be darker. And you can also change saturation and contrast in a selected area with this tool, which is really handy. I might even bring the saturation down just for those kind of red bits of the writing there on the ground. That's looking good. Okay, one more selective in the bottom right this time. So bring that all the way to the right. That's looking good. And there you can pinpoint the area that you want it to affect, which is good. You just need to hold your thumb down a bit harder than you normally would. So that area is good, and then we'll change our saturation, make it -100. Finally, our top right corner, go selective one more time, and well, first we'll see, yeah, that roughly that area there. If we make it too big, then we start affecting the clouds and the rest of the image, and we don't want to do that. We want to leave the inner circle as untouched as possible. So let's just make sure it affects only that top corner there. So let's turn our saturation down and brightness up. All right, that's looking really good already. We're pretty much at pure white, which is what we want. We do still have a bit of writing there, which is the writing on the concrete. So we do want to get rid of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the healing function. The healing function is really handy. It gets rid of all of those little spots and unwanted details. And it's as simple as just pressing your finger to the area you want to get rid of. Doesn't always work first time. You need to play around with it a bit. Just because it works like the clone stamp tool in Photoshop. So it'll take a snippet of the image from close by and then place it where you're painting your finger. So you just have to do a little tiny bit at a time. And you can also zoom in to get extra kind of close-up detail. Oh, that's not good. Come on. I find it's just a matter of doing it a lot of times until it goes to pure white. Okay, well that's probably not going to work, so I'm just going to go back. The cool thing about this app is it's very easy to go back and undo your work. I might just go back and use my brush again and turn that exposure up one more time, just because this is a troubled area, and it's just easier. There's less messing around if we just brush it over with our finger there. And there we go, that's working really nicely. So now I'm just going to have a look around the image to see the bits I've missed. There's a bit of darkness there, get rid of it. And that's looking pretty good. I like that shadow there. I like that it kind of leaves the inner circle. It connects the inner circle and the outer circle. That's a good stylistic choice. I'm going to keep that there. I really like that. So now I'm just going to do some final color corrections just to really get the colors in that inner circle nice and vibrant. So the saturation goes up. That's looking good. Turn up the warmth a bit. And Snapseed is very easy to use because you can do it all by just using your thumb, and you learn how swiping up and swiping left and right allows you to access the different brushes and different strengths of those brushes. It's a really good tool. I use it for every single photo I edit. And it's free. That's amazing for a free app. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and export this. I find most of the time white does work better than black, but it is just a matter of trying it out photo by photo and seeing which is the better option. I always use every slider whenever I'm editing my photos and whenever I'm color correcting my photos, just to make sure you're always making the absolute best creative decisions. If it looks better as black and white, if it looks better as color, inverted, normal planet, it's worth trying everything in it. It only takes an extra 2 seconds to try something different and you could be onto something really amazing. So try as many things as you can and you will eventually get the perfect edit of your 360. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Feel free to subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and all the others. I have an ebook out. It's called Life in 360, A Beginner's Guide to Tiny Planet Photography, and it'll show you color correction like we've done here and go into it in much more depth, and it's just got everything. It'll teach you how to do every kind of tiny planet effect. So check it out, and if you have any questions for future videos, I'd be happy to explore them, so shoot me a message. Alright guys, keep living your life in 360. This is Ben, and talk to you soon.